J.Lo is apparently trying to take half of Ben Affleck's net worth, even though she has double the money he has. Now, the pair have been going through a rough patch the last couple of months with rumors of them divorcing. It's said that Ben hates J.Lo, and listen, we can't blame him. Now, recently it's been revealed that J.Lo is trying to take half of Ben's fortune. Jen and Ben are living separately now that their shared mansion in Beverly Hills is back on the market. Ben, who's starring in The Accountant 2, is renting a place in Brentwood near his ex-wife Jennifer Garner and their kids. Meanwhile, Jen is staying in her LA home with her children Max and Emmy. According to a source from Radar Online, J.Lo wants half of Ben's nearly $150 million fortune, even though she herself has much more, which is about $400 million. The insider alleges that J.Lo, who recently canceled her expensive Los Angeles residency, took on the majority of the financial responsibility. Now, they depict Ben as a huge cheapskate who constantly complained about J.Lo's spending habits. Now, apparently, to avoid his grumbling, Jen covered most expenses to maintain their luxurious lifestyle. One of the little-known secrets is that Jennifer paid for much of their marital expenses, and now she feels he owes her, the source claimed. She's adding up all those private jet bills she put on her plastic, the hotels and meals, clothes, coffee runs, gas. The high cost of living was done on her dime. She paid the lion's share for that $60 million mansion they bought, too, they added. Ben took so much money out of her, at least that's what she's saying. Now, she can take some money from him if she wants, because they didn't get a prenup, which is a big mistake. Now, OK Magazine said that when the pair wedded in Las Vegas, they didn't tie up their assets. According to a source, Jen's love for Ben was so unconditional at the time that she didn't see a prenup as necessary. Now, rumor has it that wasn't the case in the first phase of their relationship. When the pair first came together, a prenup was allegedly on the table. It was claimed that their original prenup not only protected their assets, but protected the relationship from infidelity. Now, the contract stated that the pair were able to keep both of their money, except if Ben cheated. If he stepped out, it would effectively nullify their prenup, putting his fortune at risk. But the two never made it to the altar, so the alleged prenup never had to take effect. But now I'm sure that Ben is wishing there was one right now. A source said Jen and Ben have been living separate lives but have not officially separated yet about Jennifer's relationship status. At this point, they're just doing their own thing. They went into their relationship very optimistic that things could change, but they haven't. Now, one of the biggest reasons for their breakup in the early 2000s was the media attention. Now, history has repeated itself because it seems to be one of the reasons why this relationship isn't working out and why Ben resents Jennifer. Ben likes his privacy, while Jen likes to go all out and show it off to the world. Now, we saw how uncomfortable this made Ben in Jen's documentary, The Greatest Love Story Never Told. When Ben pops up in the doc, it's often to express concern that his private love story is becoming used for something he didn't particularly want. Now, the doc is actually named after a scrapbook that Ben gifted Jennifer for Christmas in 2021, stacked with every letter and email they'd written to each other over the last 20 years. Now, Jennifer showed the book to her producers and songwriters on the first day of making her new album without asking or telling Ben. Now, this revelation comes within the first 5 minutes of the doc, and right out of the gate, Ben isn't shy about his discomfort. He's shocked that Jennifer would share something so personal with her collaborators, and now, of course, with the world. Ben chalked it up to artistic inspiration and said that J.Lo's style was just an adjustment for him. He said, "When Jen and I broke up before, the catalyst for that was this massive amount of scrutiny around our private life. I had a very firm sense of boundaries around the press, while Jen, I don't think, objected to it the way I did." Still though, he was optimistic this time around, and for a while, Ben got swept up in it. But her obsession with the limelight and the need to parade their love all around didn't really sit right with Ben after a while. Not to mention that Jennifer exposed his private love letters to her. Now, later in the documentary, Jen acknowledged that she's aware of Ben's discomfort, but didn't seem willing to do much to improve things for him. "I don't think Ben is very comfortable with me doing all of this," she said. "But he loves me, he knows I'm an artist, and he's gonna support me in every way he can because he knows you can't stop me from making my music." Now, it seems like Jen doesn't really want to change her ways, which is why their relationship ended in the the first place. Now, Jen and Ben first met on the set of the 2003 rom-com Geely. Now, at the time, JLo was still married to her second husband, her dancer Chris Judd, and JLo and Ben then went public with their relationship soon after her divorce from Chris. In November 2002, JLo confirmed that they were engaged in an interview with Diane Sawyer. "It's the most magnificent thing I've ever seen," she said of the 6.1 carat pink diamond from Harry Winston that Ben gave her. Now, the ring reportedly cost him $2.5 million. Then, in September 2003 though, they postponed their wedding. 2 days before the two were set to officially tie the knot, they released a joint statement announcing the ceremony's postponement. They said, "Due to the excessive media attention surrounding our wedding, we have decided to postpone the date. When we found ourselves seriously contemplating hiring 3 separate decoy brides at 3 different locations, we realized that something was awry. We began to feel that the spirit of what should have been the happiest day of our lives could be compromised. We felt what should have been a joyful and sacred day could be spoiled for us, our families, and our friends." Then, on January 22nd, 2024, the two ended their engagement. JLo confirmed the sad news through her spokesperson. "I'm confirming the report that Jennifer Lopez has ended her engagement to Ben Affleck," the statement said at the time. "At this difficult time, we ask you to respect her privacy." Now, not to mention, right now, JLo is posting cryptic things to her social media accounts, which just has more people talking and speculating. Now, she liked a post that raised some eyebrows, as the post in question reads, "You cannot build a healthy relationship with somebody who, among other things, lacks integrity and emotional safety, doesn't respect your time, doesn't think it's important to call text back in a respectable time frame, lacks effective communication skills, and doesn't know who they are or what they want." Now, if she liked this in relation to Ben, that's not the best thing, and I understand why they'd be going through marital troubles. Then there was the fact that she celebrated the anniversary of her Spanish song Cambia El Paso. While the song was released 3 years ago in 2021, the lyrics seemingly hold a deeper meaning now given the current state of her relationship with Ben. On Sunday, Jennifer shared a clip from the track's music video on Instagram while singing about a man who's undeserving of her love. "She knows that, the intro begins, before launching into the first verse that reads, "Her life is better now without him, she knows that her hips don't fail her, she doesn't need anyone to be well, she doesn't fail, she doesn't fail." Yeah, the timing of that post is a little bit suspicious. Now, not to mention that it's been leaked that JLo has some truly insane rules that she makes Ben follow. Now, Ben has been open about his addiction to alcohol, as he first checked into a rehab facility in 2001, completing a 30-day residential rehabilitation program. He has sought treatment for alcoholism on several occasions in the years since, getting professional help in 2008, 2017, and again in 2018 after his divorce from Jennifer Garner was finalized. Now, he briefly relapsed in 2019, but said he wouldn't let it derail him, admitting, "It happens, it's a slip." Now, that same year, the actor acknowledged that being an alcoholic is something that he deals with on a daily basis. It's become unfortunately common for fans to speculate about his health, particularly after he married Jennifer Lopez. Now, for example, a clip of Jennifer and Ben having a seemingly tense conversation at the premiere of her movie Shotgun Wedding went viral in January after fans suspected that the pair were arguing over Ben's drinking, as Jen demanded to take a sip of his drink. Now, it appears that she didn't trust him, which I'm sure Ben didn't like. Now, also, female flight attendants are reportedly banned from her private planes. Now, according to reports, Jennifer was so angry after finding out her then husband Mark Anthony had an alleged fling with a flight attendant that she banned women from working on her private planes. She hates flight attendants because her ex-husband Mark Anthony had an affair with one when they were married, an anonymous source revealed. Now, several corporate flight attendants came forward and revealed that Jennifer does not allow female associates to work on their flights. JLo won't let a female flight attendant work. She brings her own male flight attendant, who is not a flight attendant but a personal assistant. Now, it was also reported that JLo demanded course 4 times a week from her husband, and Ben denied this and her other rules in a Vanity Fair interview, saying, "You can't legislate behavior, you've got to believe in the person and believe you can meet the challenges you face. Neither of us are stupid or naive. It would be nice if you could have the rules, but you just can't write it down," he explained. So, what's in store for this couple? I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
First up, of course, we have Mariah Carey. Even if you're not familiar with many of JLo's feuds, I'm sure you know that Mariah Carey hates her. That's because Mariah has not been shy about throwing shade in her direction. These two have been feuding ever since JLo started to make music, and started to steal her shine. Then when Mariah was asked about Lopez in an interview, she famously replied, quote, "I don't know her." Years later, when Andy Cohen brought up the beef on his show Watch What Happens Live in 2014, Jennifer Lopez played the whole thing off, saying, quote, "I don't have a feud against her at all. I know from back in the day, I've read things that she said about me that were not the greatest, but we have never met. Like, we don't know each other. I would love to meet her, and I would love to be friends with her." But then JLo was a little more savage on the Wendy Williams show when asked about the feud in 2016. Lopez said, quote, "She's forgetful, I guess. We've met so many times." But Carey doubled down in another interview where she added that she still doesn't know Jennifer Lopez. When Mariah had a mishap of her own during a disastrous New Year's Eve performance, Lopez took a break from the high road and liked an extremely shady tweet about Mariah. The tweet said, quote, "Ever seen an accident you couldn't take your eyes away from? That was her tonight." If you're wondering where this feud started, it all goes back to Mariah's ex-husband and music executive, Tommy Mottola. After getting married in 1993, Carey divorced Mottola in 1998 because he was very controlling. And to get back at her, Mottola started up JLo's career and did everything possible to make JLo a star, instead of Mariah. JLo sampled a number of Mariah-esque songs. There were even allegations she straight up copied some of Mariah's songs, but tried to make them more of a hit. All because of Mottola. But Mariah knows she still came out on top, adding, quote, "After all that shit, Loverboy ended up being the best-selling single of 2001 in the United States." So basically the whole feud is over career competition and the fact that Lopez was in cahoots with Carey's controlling ex. Rosie Perez. You'd think that JLo and Rosie Perez would be great friends, considering how much they have in common. Both women are dancers, are Puerto Rican, and grew up in New York. But the pair are not close, and it would be more accurate to say that they actually hate each other. According to Perez's 2014 memoir, Handbook for an Unpredictable Life, she has plenty of negative stories to share about JLo. In her memoir, Perez shared a story from the set of In Living Color. She wrote about Lopez, quote, "All of the girls were coming into my office complaining how she was manipulating wardrobe, makeup, and me, all to her advantage," and added she was acting like, quote, "some ghetto bitch," screaming and pounding her chest. JLo ended up leaving that show after 2 seasons, but the feud between the pair continued, and Perez claimed that Lopez would speak negatively about her whenever she got the chance. Even worse, Lopez was allegedly two-faced. She would talk trash behind Perez's back, but be nice to her face. Brandy. In the midst of the Mariah and JLo feud, Brandy publicly supported Mariah, making it clear she does not like JLo. In July of 2017, Brandy took to Instagram to share a photo of herself hugging Mariah Carey with the caption, #SheKnows Me. An obvious reference to Mariah's infamous "I don't know her" comment about JLo. All the comments were flooded with people speculating over the caption, and the consensus quickly became that the photo was a dig at JLo. However, Brandy later addressed the caption, writing, quote, "Oh my god, what happened? I swear to goodness, I didn't know what the fuss is about. I love this pic and now everyone thinks I'm throwing shade. At who? This is funny. Can't take this one down. I love this picture and whenever I'm throwing shade, it's not questionable, you know that I am." Later adding that Mariah does in fact know her. Mariah supported the post by commenting, quote, "I sure do." Even though Brandy is trying to convince us it's nothing shady, I honestly don't believe it. Next up, Nicki Minaj. It's long been rumored that Jennifer Lopez is a huge diva, and the fight that her and Nicki Minaj had while on American Idol brought up both of their diva sides. In 2012, Lopez was a judge on American Idol while Nicki came on to perform, and things got tense fast. After Nicki finished performing, she went over to the judges table and asked, quote, "I was hoping maybe I could come back and be a guest judge. JLo, can you scoot over a little bit?" JLo then responded, quote, "I don't know if there's enough room for both of us." Then Minaj took it up another notch backstage when she said, quote, "She didn't seem to be having it, but she's gonna have it." But she later added, quote, "We were just joking around." But it's clear the bad blood is still there. When Lopez performed at the 2015 AMAs, she sang a part of Minaj's song Anaconda. But I don't think Nicki got the memo that it was going to be happening, because when the camera panned to Nicki, she did not look happy. Fans totally saw the shade and started tweeting about it that night. Rihanna. Rihanna and JLo started feuding right around the time that JLo was seen getting cozy with Rihanna's ex, Drake. This all happened in 2016 when JLo and Drake took a photo backstage at JLo's concert. Once the photos came out, everyone everyone assumed that they were dating, which probably got the attention of his exes. A lot of fans felt the whole thing was most likely a publicity stunt, but Rihanna took the rumors pretty seriously and lashed out online because of it. A source said at the time that Rihanna suffered, quote, the ultimate betrayal and dubbed Lopez desperate and a traitor. This was because Rihanna and J-Lo were really tight at one point, and Rihanna even got support from J-Lo during rough times with Drake. Then in December of 2016, Rihanna unfollowed J-Lo on Instagram, making her stance very clear. Jenna Dewan. When the pair started alongside each other on World of Dance, they seemed like they got along great. Lopez was a producer and a judge, while Dewan was a host and mentor on the show. But sources revealed that when the camera stopped rolling, the women hated each other. One source said about their relationship, quote, Jenna can't stand Jen's over-the-top theatrical fakery. Jen never fails to ham it up when the cameras are rolling, and she hijacks the show. It seems she'd prefer if Jenna just stayed in the background. The insider continued that J-Lo is a micromanager who tells everyone else what to do. Because of all her input, Jenna felt excluded and felt like her voice was not heard. Although there is a chance that this feud is not accurate because when Dewan's team was asked about the feud rumors, they denied them. Ojani Noah. Jennifer Lopez has been married 3 times before. Her first and shortest marriage was to Cuban waiter Ojani Noah. Although their relationship ended in 1998, it's clear that Noah cannot stand her, and whenever asked about Lopez, he does not hold back his negative feelings. Back in 2006, he was actually set to release a juicy tell-all book about Lopez called The Unknown Truth, a passionate portrait of a serial thriller. But before it was set to be published, Lopez was able to stop it with a lawsuit. She argued that publishing the book broke their confidentiality agreement, and the courts agreed. From that lawsuit, she won $545,000 in damages, and Noah was forbid from criticizing or casting in a negative light or otherwise disparaging Lopez. Noah's name was brought up once again when he threatened to leak an intimate tape of the two of them on their honeymoon. Lopez then filed a $10 million lawsuit against him. When asked why the relationship ended, Noah blamed Lopez, saying, quote, I was looking forward to being with her for the rest of my life. It didn't happen. She made the choice of her career instead of me. And finally, Jennifer Lopez herself. Nobody has done more to warn us about J-Lo's sketchy behavior than herself, and some of the things she's done in the past are too terrible to ignore. Back when she tried to score a role in competition with actress Claire Danes, J-Lo said some harsh things about her competition, saying that Claire Danes does the quote, same thing with every character she does. Then Lopez bashed Winona Ryder, saying that she was not a big fan of her work. And finally, Lopez took aim at Gwyneth Paltrow, saying, quote, tell me what she's been in. I swear to God I don't remember anything she was in. Some people get hot by association. I heard more about her and Brad Pitt than I ever heard about her work. Then in a different interview, Lopez decided to take aim at Madonna, specifically bashing Madonna's attempt at acting. Quote, do I think she's a great performer? Yeah. Do I think she's a great actress? No. Acting is what I do, so I'm harder on people when they say, oh, I can do that, I can act. I'm like, hey, don't spit on my craft. Aside from dishing out unnecessary shade to other celebrities, Lopez also has a reputation for being incredibly rude to service people. One United Airlines employee told the press how much of a diva she was during her flight. Apparently he asked if she wanted a drink, and she replied, quote, I just said, what can I get you to drink? But Jennifer refused to even acknowledge me. She turned her head away and told her personal assistant, please tell him I'd like a Diet Coke and lime. Even though the stewardess was trying to serve her what she wanted, she refused to look, and made her assistant speak for her. It's so ridiculous and an unnecessary power play. But this interaction is nothing compared to the maid that was fired for asking J-Lo for an autograph. The maid later spoke with media and said she asked J-Lo's 2 assistants, who rejected the autograph. Then a day later, the hotel said that Lopez complained about the incident, and that maid was fired.
J-Lo's recent documentary showcased the intimate details of her star-studded life, but various celebs have shared a different view of the star over the years. Here are the top 10 celebrities who caught Jennifer Lopez stealing. Usher was left out of an important decision once, and it led to some legal troubles for J-Lo. The song in question here is Get Right. Get Right was written by Usher and producer Rich Harrison for Confessions. The album was released by Usher in 2004. The song was originally called Ride. The thing was, it wasn't good enough for the album, or something went wrong. Either way, it didn't make the cut, and vault tracks weren't common yet, so the song sat there until J-Lo was interested. Harrison decided to give the track to J-Lo, presumably without checking with Usher first if his reaction is anything to go off of. Usher claimed he didn't sign off on the decision and was quick to demand publishing rights. Obviously, the song made it out on JLo's side as it was released and is now considered a fan favorite. Shawnette Harrell sang the chorus to popular JLo song If You Had My Love, but was credited as just a background singer. Having others lend vocals to songs is super common in Hollywood. In recent years, it's more common that people will sing the majority of their song, and other voices will truly be background vocals. It seems in this case, Harrell might not have been credited properly if she really did sing the chorus and JLo is just lip syncing along. Likely though, JLo did put some vocals in there mixed in with Harrell handling the brunt of it. As for crediting the person as a background singer, the vocals were mixed in a way that the background vocals typically were, plus there is no way to actually know if JLo was the one to sign off on that. Christina Milian is now a singer and actress. You might recognize her from the Netflix movie Falling in Love, the Kim Possible theme song, or the JLo song Play. Christina co-wrote the song and did record some vocals for it, vocals that can be heard on JLo's version of the track. But as we know now, that did not happen. But JLo did kind of steal her work, not really because she would have had to get permission, but you know what I mean. People thought maybe Christina felt negatively towards JLo. It turns out that is very much not the case. In an interview with Page 6, Christina got to clear up any rumors swirling around the internet. She said there is nothing malicious between her and JLo. She talked quite highly of the singer, and even explaining that she was okay not being fully credited for the track, saying hands down she killed it. She's so good, I love that song, I'm on the credits for whatever nature, as a writer and for singing backgrounds. There is credit for that. I'm also just so happy that she did it because she's an icon, she's amazing. It's funny when people talk about this being kind of a thing about me singing on the song with Jennifer. I mean, I have background singers on some of my songs. It's no different than Michael Jackson having background singers on songs or Britney Spears. This is what music is made of. You want a blend of voices, it makes songs better to me. She even clarified why the song went to JLo, explaining that she liked another party song she had written more, AM to PM, and figured that only one would make the album, so she passed on Play. JLo caught it and recorded it, doing some rewrites with Christina, and then it was off and hitting the charts. Ironically, it could be argued JLo's song I'm Real is not very real at all. Ashanti is the real deal here, at least when it comes to the chorus, and ad-libs, and the writing of the song. Allegedly, the song I'm Real by Jennifer Lopez was written by Ashanti. She sung the demo that was given to JLo. Usually artists, when they get demos, they just use it to see what the song will sound like. Then they re-record the song because it's their song now and they want their vocals. At least that's what one might think. In this case, and a few more cases that we've looked at and will look at, it looks like JLo did not re-record anything, just kept the demo vocals and the ad-libs. Ashanti received credit for background vocals, but the co-writing credit was nowhere to be found. So while JLo likely got permission from either the performer or the company, it wasn't a good look in the eyes of the public. To make the entire situation worse, JLo, who is Puerto Rican, used the N-word on the track. That was met with the appropriate response and callouts. I'm Real was so successful that Ashanti did write for JLo again, so there must not have been too much bad blood between the women. She came back to write Ain't It Funny, also adding some ad-lib vocals into this song. She did get to appear in the music video for this one.
One TikToker is shutting down all the speculation that Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez seem to be upset with each other at the Grammys, probably to gain clout for her page, but whatever works, as she went on to share her experience as a seat filler at the Sunday show, where she sat in a temporary vacant seat next to the stars. While a video shows the couple having a little argument at the table, the TikToker would then say that there was more to the story as to why Ben was looking a little gloomy at the event. When the TikToker explained the situation, she would say JLo was showing Ben Affleck her phone when she was like, "Oh my god, honey, look at this meme circulating about you." And apparently Ben was like, "Oh god, this again." Other than that moment, apparently the couple was actually really lovey-dovey throughout the show, and that it never made her think that the couple was headed towards a divorce. However, in the video where it showed Jennifer looking at Ben telling him to stop, look more friendly, look motivated, prove otherwise, and it has us all wondering what he may have whispered in her ear that made her snap, and we really need to interview everyone around them to get to the bottom of this question. Number 9. Schedules and family. Trouble is already brewing in JLo's and Ben Affleck's relationship in their hectic hectic schedules could be the reason behind it, as it has forced them to spend a huge chunk of time apart. An inside source has lifted the lid on the couple's whirlwind romance, which has caused them to claim that the sudden change of Ben and Jennifer being miles apart has taken a toll on their relationship, even before the two got married just weeks leading up to the wedding, as both of their children started to feel unsettled. But the real factor that caused the tension between the two stars is their hectic schedules. With both having pretty successful careers, it has forced them to spend a huge chunk of their time apart, which has left Jennifer in tears at times as she misses Ben so much. The couple has also had to deal with the stress that comes with merging two families together, and now that the stress has started to form tensions between them. And while the world has been delighted at the fact that they got back together after almost 2 decades, their hectic schedules and family could lead to the ultimate breakup Hollywood has ever seen. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to that channel. Number 8. Motorcycle collection. Post honeymoon things are quickly beginning to turn sour between Ben and Jennifer, as the newlyweds have been at odds and have been fighting non-stop over everything from Ben's bad habit to his clothing choices. However, back in October, Radar Online would learn that JLo even took a jab at her husband when she decided to get rid of Ben's beloved motorcycle collection. An inside source would then reveal to the media outlet that JLo even had Ben's most prized motorbike collection cleared out while they were away without even telling him, as she thought it would be unsafe to do so. So she decided to completely blindside Ben on the matter. After Ben found out about the matter, he and JLo got into a pretty epic fight, which caused JLo to yell at him, and she even pointed her finger, which caused the insider to tell the outlet makes people wonder if she mistakes him for a dog. Number 7. Not wearing a wedding ring? Back in January, according to rumors that were making headlines on social networks, they would claim that Ben no longer wears the engagement ring he has with Jennifer Lopez, which would lead fans to question if the pair was headed towards a divorce sometime soon. And to intensify these rumors even more, the actor would soon be shown hiding his left hand from the paparazzi while he was captured walking in the city of Los Angeles with an iced coffee, wearing a blue puffer jacket. Not to mention, the actor could also be seen rocking a depressed look as he wore glasses and hid his hand in his pocket. This would then start to generate all kinds of comments on social media networks, since the couple celebrated not 1 but 2 weddings to celebrate their union. And now they are already making headlines as inside sources claim things aren't going so well between them. But being caught without your wedding ring isn't exactly a good look. Number 6. Getting sober. Back in January, a video would start to go viral on TikTok after it showed Ben Affleck talking about his addiction with alcohol in the past, while he went on to protest to Jennifer that he hasn't been drinking when they attended a party. In the clip, it would show Ben and Jennifer attending an after party for the Hollywood premiere of JLo's new movie, Shotgun Wedding, on January 18th. As Jennifer's hit track, Let's Get Loud, is heard playing in the background, Jennifer is seen holding a wine glass as Ben yells over the music, "I didn't drink anything, okay?" Jennifer is then seen lifting the glass while maintaining eye contact with Ben as she cautiously takes a drink before placing it down, as her husband shouts at Jen. As the video has started to go viral, it has sparked a major debate among users, and a number of users would slam Jennifer as they suggested that she was being unsupportive to Affleck by drinking, while others claimed that she was just testing the drink to see if there actually was anything in it, as she was worried Ben is falling back into his old alcohol addiction habits, and she's scared he might enter into a rehab program again soon. Number 5. The past. Today it seems like the world can't stop talking about Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck's reunion, but it seems like the pair's past might be coming back to haunt them, as neither can trust each other due to their long history. When the pair first broke up, after it was hinted Ben had some major chemistry with his on-screen partner, Jennifer Garner, Ben would later call off his engagement with Lopez and marry Garner. And in some interviews, it would prove that Ben causes more harm to the woman around him, as he likes to later gush about them to the press, and he often talks about how much he regrets causing them harm, until everyone forgets how awful he truly was to them. As JLo claimed that the two broke up because of having a public relationship, it was really hard on them, she would also refer to the relationship as self-destructive, and that Ben crushed her soul when he pulled out of the wedding that she took so much time to plan, just to hit rock bottom when she
she found out he got garnered just shortly after. Not to mention, Ben even chirped her to the press after he told the press that he blamed all his troubles on J-Lo and that Garner saved him. But now the tables have turned. It makes you wonder what part of their past still haunts them. Number 4, bad habits. While Jennifer always tries to understand and support Ben through all of his problems, when she asks Ben to support and understand her, the actor simply just acts indifferent and only focuses on his feelings without caring about what his wife feels. Jennifer, as a result, has been left feeling a little sad because she fears that Ben might even fall back into his same old patterns. Ben, who has already gone to rehab several times due to various vices, has overcome a lot, but now he is smoking heavily, and this is apparently a situation that Jennifer is not really pleased with. It's gotten to the point where she's even had to talk to Ben's team, where she has urged them not to give him any more cigarettes, but he has ignored his team and his wife on the matter, and he's even been caught out in public sneaking in some smoke time, which has caused J-Lo to be on edge, and she is now at the point she is losing hope on Ben fixing his bad habits, and that this could be one of the reasons she files for divorce shortly. Number 3, too hopeful. You know when they say if something is meant to be, it will come back to you? Well, that's exactly what happened to Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck. And while the couple seems to be true believers when it comes to that statement, they seem to be a little too hopeful when it comes to the relationship this time around. When the two first got back together, they saw the spark they knew they both had still, and they dove quickly back into their relationship. 17 years after, they went their separate ways and called off their engagement in 2004. And since they have gotten remarried, they spend a lot of their time talking about what went wrong in their past, which is hashtag a giant red flag. While both are really hopeful that their relationship this time around will last, as they want to spend more time putting in effort, and that they believe that they are both more mature and are on the same page, it just seems like they are too invested in each other's lives and they're focusing on all the problems instead of all the good that can come with this relationship. Number 2, the long honeymoon phase. All good things can't last forever, and it seems like J-Lo and Ben have finally reached the end of their extremely long honeymoon phase, which lasted longer than any other honeymoon phase. While he was caught whispering something into his wife's ear right before, J-Lo could be seen jerking away and snapping at him after a lip reader confirmed Jennifer said, "Stop, look more friendly, look motivated." Ben then responded by saying, "I might." However, just before their public spat, they were in a 6-month honeymoon phase that just looked too unrealistic because no one is that gooey in love and happy. And if you are, something is lying deep within and you're hiding it, and that's the scary part. It's like dating someone you know at the beginning and how they're like really nice and you know something's up, and then 6 months later they're a completely different person. And coming in at number 1 today, we have the gloomy reactions. Ever since Ben got with J-Lo, he's been looking pretty gloomy, and every time he's caught out in public looking a little upset, he starts to go viral as his fans try to figure out what might be making Ben seem sad. You would think after dating Jenny on the block you would be pretty upbeat, but just days after tying the knot, Ben was seen with J-Lo looking pretty angry, like someone had stolen his lunch money or even asked him to physically growl out loud. But since the emergence of Sad Affleck started to go viral last January, the meme hasn't shown signs of slowing down, and it's clear something concerning is going on.
Jennifer Lopez has had a long dating history, so let's take a look at the top 10 celebrities who regret dating her. Starting off, we have Ben Affleck. Now, J-Lo and Ben Affleck fell in love on the set of Gilgy in 2001. They then starred in another movie, Jersey Girl, in 2002, and that year Ben proposed to Jennifer, but the following year they postponed their wedding and announced their split in 2004. They went their separate ways and married other people and had children, but those marriages came to an end. Then in 2021 they were spotted together multiple times and photos were obtained of them kissing. They were spotted out together a lot, and in April 2022 the couple got engaged. The pair tied the knot in Las Vegas on July 16th in 2022 and then had a big ceremony with friends and family after. Everyone thought that fate brought this couple back together, but right now they're actually facing a lot of divorce rumors. Now, the couple have been living apart and they're selling their joint $60 million house. Now, it's also been said that the pair don't have a prenup, so that will make a prospective divorce interesting. Now, with it appearing that this relationship has failed twice, I'm sure that Ben is tired of it. Next up is Ojani Noah. Although J-Lo's short-lived marriage to Ojani Noah ended in 1998, it seems like her ex still can't stand her. Now, despite the fact that they were only married for 9 months, Noah has been trying to slander his former flame and keep his name in the news by any means possible. In 2006, he set out to publish a tell-all book dubbed The Unknown Truth, a passionate portrait of a serial thriller, which Jennifer stopped with a lawsuit, claiming that her ex was breaking their confidentiality agreement. She was awarded $545,000 in damages, and Noah was slapped with the court order, which forbade him from criticizing, casting in a negative light, or otherwise disparaging Jennifer. Meanwhile, during a 2016 appearance on Million Dollar Matchmaker, he dumped blame on his former wife, saying that she caused their split, claiming, "I was looking forward to being with her for the rest of my life. It didn't happen. She made a choice of career instead of me." So yeah, due to all that, I think it's safe to say that he regrets and even hates her. Then there's Drake. Almost as soon as Jennifer shared a snap of herself chilling with Drake backstage at her Las Vegas show in December 2016, it was reported that the pair were dating. The caption she used for the pic was, "Look who rolled up to my show tonight to say hi, #love him." She then made another post of him giving her a bear hug and looking rather cozy snuggling up to her. While some didn't believe the headlines, Drake's on-again, off-again love interest at the time, Rihanna, sure seemed to take the post to heart. Now, according to an unnamed insider who spoke with In Touch, she felt that she had suffered the ultimate betrayal and dubbed J-Lo desperate and a traitor. After all, the two used to be close and is said to have confided in J-Lo about her rocky relationship with Drake. Now, although Rihanna never publicly addressed the issue, she unfollowed Jennifer shortly after. Now, Rihanna ended up getting together with A$AP Rocky and having 2 children together, so I'm sure she doesn't really care who Drake's into now. But at the time though, an anonymous source told E! News that J-Lo was having fun with the rapper. But J-Lo dispelled any dating rumors during a 2017 interview on The Daily Show where she said, "Let me clear this up, I am not with Drake." Then in 2018, Drake name-dropped Jennifer on his track Diplomatic Immunity. 2010 was when I lost my halo, 2017 I lost a J-Lo. Now we have P. Diddy. Jennifer reminisced on her and Diddy's relationship in a 2003 interview with Vibe, revealing that it ended due to infidelity. "It was like the first time I was with someone who wasn't faithful," she said. "I was in this relationship with Puff where I was totally crying, crazy, and going nuts. It really took my whole life in a tailspin, and I never caught him, but I just knew." He said he was going to a club for a couple of hours and then never come back that night. Now, despite the drama of their split, the pair are still friendly these days as they speak fondly of each other. Now, Diddy shared a since-deleted Instagram post of the former couple on Instagram in May 2021, simply captioning the snap, #TBT. Now, one day prior, Us Weekly reported that Jennifer and Ben Affleck, who dated in 2002 and called off their engagement in 2004, were full-on dating again and very happy to rekindle their romance. Now, Diddy later clarified his intentions with the throwback photo, telling Vanity Fair that August, "It wasn't no trolling involved, that's just my friend, and I don't have nothing to say about her relationship or her life." Then there's Chris Judd. Now, after her relationship with Diddy ended, J-Lo met choreographer Chris Judd when he directed her Love Don't Cost a Thing music video. Now, they wed in September 2001 and filed for divorce in July 2002. Now, of her connection with Chris, Jennifer told Vibe, "Coming out of a torrid relationship, I meet this sweet person who's so refreshing, but marriage is not just about love. I thought I had learned that in my first marriage." She continued, "I loved Chris, still love him, he's one of the best people. This wasn't an easy thing to walk away from, but we didn't have what it takes to make a marriage work." Now, in a 2014 interview with Us Weekly, Chris said their relationship ended because he had trouble being connected to someone who was high profile. "You know, it's very tough, your privacy is breached, you're no longer a normal person. Our wedding was a circus. I think several people got arrested trying to climb up a mountain, trying to sneak in. We actually rented the airspace," he said. Moving on to David Cruz. J-Lo and David Cruz started dating in high school, and their relationship began when they were just teenagers. The young couple stayed together through the mid-90s and officially called it quits just before Lopez's iconic hit role in Selena. Now, a source told People that David was truly head over heels for Lopez throughout their years-long romance and was very supportive of her rise to fame. They were high school sweethearts, the source says. He was soft-spoken and kind, and he would do anything for Jennifer. You could see her trajectory early on, and at the time, he didn't mind seeing her take the lead. He was completely content with that. He just loved loved her. Now, their relationship didn't survive her fame as they broke things off early in her career, but not before walking a few red carpets together. Now, maybe David just couldn't handle the fame. They were both very secretive about what happened between the two of them and the reason for the split, but they seem to have ended on good terms though. Then there's Marc Anthony. Jennifer was fresh off her star-making role in the biopic Selena when she met Marc Anthony in 1998. Now, the two reportedly connected backstage at a Broadway show and soon became friends and collaborators. After Jen ended her engagement to Ben Affleck, she reconnected with Marc, who at the time was ending his relationship with his first wife, former Miss Universe Dayanara Torres. Now, they had a surprise wedding in 2004 and then worked together on many different projects. The pair then welcomed twins in 2008, and following their birth, the couple renewed their vows even though there were rumors of them getting divorced. But in 2011, fans were shocked when the pair officially announced their separation in July 2011 after 7 years of marriage. In a statement published by BBC News, the couple revealed, "This was a very difficult decision. We have come to an amicable conclusion." Now, Anthony filed the divorce petition in Los Angeles in April 2012, citing irreconcilable differences, Billboard reported. Jennifer then retained primary custody of their twins, Max and Emmy, with Anthony granted visitation for a week each month. Neither the pair were ordered to pay child or spousal support, and even though the pair continued their professional relationship following their breakup, rumors persisted about why they got divorced. The highest profile story involved Anthony's co-star in the 2009 to 2011 drama Hawthorne, Jada Pinkett Smith. On the medical series, Anthony and Pinkett Smith's characters were romantically involved, and rumors spread that the two had a real-life affair. Now, they denied it, but who knows? Now there's Beau Casper Smart. Just 4 months after splitting from Marc Anthony, J.Lo had an on-again off-again relationship with her backup dancer Casper Smart. Now, at the time, an insider told People that it was a fun fling and that was not meant to turn into anything more. J.Lo later hired Casper as the creative director of her All I Have residency in Las Vegas. Now, the former Flames endured a bump in the road in 2014 when a gossip site, The Dirty, claimed to have evidence that he had been exchanging photos and messages with a model. They went their separate ways in June that year, but continued with their on-again off-again relationship before splitting up for good in 2016. She kicked him out for good because he cheated on her and he got caught, a source told People. It happened 2 years ago and he promised he'd never do it again, and once he did, she was done. Now, there weren't any hard feelings following their breakup, however. As Casper told Us Weekly in March 2017, Jennifer is like phenomenal. Next is Alex Rodriguez. J.Lo met A-Rod during a Yankees game in 2005. We shook hands and it was this weird electricity for like 3 seconds, 3 to 5 seconds of looking at somebody right in their eyes and getting stuck, she told Sports Illustrated in 2019. Now, more than a decade later, the pair reconnected and started dating. "I was having lunch somewhere and I saw him as he passed by. Afterwards, I went outside and for some reason I felt like tapping him on the shoulder," Jennifer said during a 2017 appearance on the Ellen DeGeneres show. "He texted me, said let's go out for dinner, and I said okay. We had a nice dinner, and since then they officially started dating and got engaged in 2019. Now, the wedding faced delays due to the pandemic, and eventually they called it quits in April 2021. The couple released a joint statement on the Today Show saying, "We have realized we're better as friends and look forward to remaining so. We'll continue to work together and support each other on our shared businesses and projects. We wish the best for each other and one another's children. Out of respect for them, the only other comment we have to say is thank you to everyone who has sent kind words and support." And finally, we have Tommy Mottola. While this romance was never confirmed, it was rumored that Sony music executive Tommy Mottola briefly dated J.Lo after his divorce from Mariah Carey in 1998, which was the same year Jennifer divorced Noah. Now, Tommy attended the 1998 Grammy Awards alongside Jennifer, and soon after it was announced that she had signed a record deal with Sony. Now, this was said to be the start of Mariah Carey and Jennifer's rumored feud. Now, did Tommy try to be with her on purpose to get back at Mariah, or did he actually like J.Lo? I guess we'll never know. Well, that's all for our list of the top 10 celebrities who regret dating Jennifer Lopez.
It's hard to imagine any J.Lo song being more popular than Jenny from the Block, but for a brief moment, All I Have was the moment. While most of the song was J.Lo's vocals, part of the chorus was sampled from Deborah Law's song Very Special. Very Special came out in 1981 and J.Lo's song in 2002, so quite a bit of time between the two. Sony did get permission to use the sample, however, no one told the original singer, Deborah Laws, so she took J.Lo to court. The case was dismissed, she tried again, and it was dismissed again. Specifically, she she went to court over the sample, but that doesn't mean it was Law's vocals on the JLo track. The part of the chorus that wasn't JLo was a woman named Makeba Riddick. Riddick was with Rock Nation at the time. Makeba does have a connection to another famous track, Love the Way You Lie, featuring Rihanna. She produced Rihanna's vocals. This one is mainly a fan rumor and speculation. Kunela Cox was a background singer on Jennifer Lopez's tours and was possibly a vocalist on her hit song Love Don't Cost a Thing. Love Don't Cost a Thing is one of JLo's biggest hits, so it makes sense it would eventually be examined with a magnifying glass, or I guess just a good ear to pick apart to see if JLo is singing. Some fans would argue that in parts of the song, she isn't, that instead of JLo's vocals being heard, it's actually Cox. Cox is not that big of an artist, unfortunately, though she is very talented. She released some of her own music and albums back in the early 2000s, but they didn't do very well. A leaked demo caused people to listen to Lopez's signature track, Jenny from the Block, a little more closely, as it was rumored that JLo didn't even sing part of her most popular tune, and that some vocals actually belonged to Natasha Ramos. Of all the people on this list, Natasha is probably one of the most outspoken. She has used her multiple social media accounts to prove her involvement with the hit song. Using her X account, she tweets out her demo for the song, telling people to compare for yourselves. However, that was mainly in response to people saying she was lying about ever being involved with the track. Back in 2019, she tweeted a short summary of her involvement, writing, "I just want to clarify something. JLo did indeed go into the studio and lay down some background vocals over mine. So I wouldn't say she's so much lip syncing, however the backgrounds are predominantly me, some ad-libs and laughs as well." So that is nice to get cleared up. JLo is technically still singing her biggest song, just with a little more help than we may have thought. Social media star Samantha Barbash was the inspiration behind the critically acclaimed film Hustlers, produced and starring Jennifer Lopez. Samantha, however, does not appreciate the film and actually sued JLo and her company for defamation. Samantha shared her perspective on the situation in an interview with TMZ. She said, "They basically stole my story. I wouldn't sign my rights away. I wasn't giving away my film and TV rights for peanuts. JLo doesn't work for free, why would I?" Further claiming that 87% of the film made was wrong. Samantha's case was ultimately dismissed. Brandy might have been the one mad at JLo for taking her song, but she has also now accidentally, maybe purposely, roped herself into the feud between Mariah Carey and JLo. Let's start with the Brandy drama. Brandy wrote a song called Ride or Die for her album Aphrodisiac. The problem was there was a bunch of delays with the album, and for some reason those delays meant that Brandy no longer had the song and it went to JLo for her Rebirth album. Ride or Die did still keep quite a few Brandy vocals though, which I can only imagine added fuel to the feud fire. How did Brandy get into the decades-long feud with Mariah and JLo though? Well, she posted a picture with Carey in 2017 and captioned it #SheKnowsMe, to which Carey confirmed in the comments, "I sure do." This exchange might mean nothing to the average person, but to JLo fans this was a declaration of war. See, back in the early 2000s when JLo was starting to become a major name and Mariah Carey was releasing hits left and right, Carey was on a red carpet and the topic moved to Lopez, to which Carey replied with, "I don't know her." Such a simple sentence, and yet it ignited decades-long feud, so that's what JLo fans believe Brandy was referencing with her hashtag caption. But that one little comment on Carey's part could not have possibly been the thing to ignite the feud. Maybe the straw that broke the camel's back, but it certainly wasn't the first thing to happen between the pair. The first big step was probably, if you look at it from Mariah Carey's perspective, when JLo stole a never-before sampled song from her ahead of her album release. That was pretty bad. The song that had never been sampled before was Firecracker by Yellow Magic Orchestra. Mariah wanted it for her upcoming song Loverboy, so she of course applied for a license. The only thing was her ex-husband must have hated her because he also applied for the same song and unfortunately for Carey, beat her out. So JLo's track, I'm Real, got the sample, and it also featured vocals from another singer named Shailene Thomas. Presumably this fiasco is what sparked the flames of the feud.
Number 10, Mariah Carey. This celebrity feud is legendary, so it's only fair that we start off with this one. JLo and Mariah Carey have been at each other's throats since the early 2000s. In fact, most people people remember the iconic line that Mariah told a German reporter, "I don't know her." Although it sounds hilarious, Mariah has maintained her negative opinion of JLo all these years. For example, an interviewer once asked her what she thought about Beyonce and Jennifer Lopez, and she responded by saying that they don't even belong in the same category for a very specific reason. Well, it's hard. You can't really put those two people in the same category because one is in a really different generation. They just started singing later. But when you talk about Beyonce, I think she's wonderful. She's great. She's a talented person. But it seemed that she forgot to compliment JLo as well. A few years later, Carey spoke to Andy Cohen and doubled down on her comments. Quote, "I don't know her. What am I supposed to say?" It looks like it'll take a miracle for these two iconic performers to ever be on good terms. Number 9. Rihanna. There are several celebrities who can't stand Jennifer Lopez, but one of the biggest critics of the iconic singer is Rihanna. These two former best friends had a serious falling out in 2016 for the oldest reason in the book. They were fighting over the same guy. Before the feud began, Rihanna and JLo were friendly to each other and had no reason for animosity. But trouble started brewing right after Rihanna and Drake broke up. They had a summer fling that same year, which was pretty casual, but it definitely still counted. Girl code was broken when JLo started getting close with Drake almost immediately after. But the feud really became public when Jennifer posted a photo of her and Drake hanging out backstage at her show in Las Vegas with the caption #LoveHim. In fact, the two were even spotted hugging, and fans quickly realized that something very shady was happening. An inside source close to the star said that Riri felt like she had suffered the ultimate betrayal and called Jennifer's behavior desperate. It must have been accurate because in December of 2016, she suddenly unfollowed Lopez on Instagram. Number 8. Gloria Estefan. Cuban-American superstar Gloria Estefan was originally supposed to be performing at the 2020 Super Bowl alongside fellow Latina pop stars JLo and Shakira. But after seeing JLo's new documentary called Halftime, where the singer went on a rant about having to share the stage with Shakira, Gloria put her comments on blast. She didn't seem to agree that it was the worst idea ever to have the artist share the stage, and explained why Lopez got it wrong on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen. Quote, "Look, this is the bottom line. You have very little time, like 12 minutes or something, to get things on and off the set. So could you do it with one person? Yes. But I think they wanted to throw a Miami and Latin extravaganza, and they tried to pack it in as much as possible." The Grammy Award winner also confirmed that she chose not to participate for a reason, seeing as JLo got so worked up about having two people perform. Quote, "Okay, and imagine what JLo would have said if I was the third. I literally would come out, done a shake your booty and out." But she went on to insist that it was their moment and that she didn't want to go on a diet in December anyway. Number 7. Nick Cannon. The Wild and Out star took a cue from his ex-wife Mariah Carey's famous phrase to throw shade at Jennifer Lopez during his guest appearance on The Wendy Williams Show. While discussing Hollywood crushes during the Hot Topic segment, the 41-year-old first named Carey, his ex-wife and mother to their two twins, Moroccan and Monroe. Quote, "Number 1, Mariah, the amazing mother, superstar, singer." He then went on to name Halle Berry and Naomi Campbell as his second and third choices. A producer then suggested JLo as an option, and he just responded with, "I don't know her." After the audience erupted into laughter, the host added, "That was a joke for the lambs. Shout out to the lambs," as Carey refers to her fans as the Lamely. Cannon made it clear who he supports in the ongoing battle of the divas, and naturally he sided with Carey, so we can't really fault him for that. It's been a bit of a running joke for years that Mariah wasn't kidding and didn't actually know JLo personally when she gave that interview, but it was too late to clear the air, as the classic "I don't know her" line has gone down in history as one of the best ways to shade someone. Number 6. Rosie Perez. Both Jennifer Lopez and Rosie Perez have served as inspirations to the Latin community for over 2 decades, but they haven't always gotten along. They met back in 1991 during an open casting call for In Living Color. At the time, Perez was the show's choreographer, and Lopez was auditioning to become a member of the dance troupe known as the Fly Girls. Her audition was unsuccessful, but Perez saw a star quality in JLo and actually pulled some strings to get her in. But after she was in the group, it became clear that Lopez didn't get along with her fellow dancers. According to Perez, she was labeled as a diva right away. All of the girls were coming into my office and complaining how she was manipulating wardrobe, makeup, and me, all to her advantage. Perez said that at first she didn't believe it, but then JLo screamed at her saying, "I know I'm good, I'm better than any of these girls and you know it." What's worse is, after JLo left the show and made it big in the music industry, she went on talk shows trashing her former choreographer. Perez also implied that JLo ghosted her. Quote, "I called her up, she wouldn't pick up. Frustrated, I left her an irate message on her answering machine. Instead of calling me back and hashing it out like friends do, she went on a major talk show and reiterated my lashing." Number 5. Brandy. Brandy has had a public feud with Jennifer Lopez since 2017, and according to Kiwi Report, she made it clear that she supports Mariah Carey going against JLo too. Basically, she posted a photo of herself on Instagram hugging Carey with the hashtag #SheKnowsMe. The caption was super perfect and a great reference to that famous "I don't know her" comment. So the whole thing tells us that Brandy is totally teaming with Mariah. Brandy's post exploded on social media and Lopez fans immediately took offense to it. Mariah saw the backlash and chimed in to Brandy's photo, commenting with a simple "I sure do." But the singer was quick to defend herself from hate comments and edited the caption shortly after posting it with, quote, "Oh my god, what happened? I swear to goodness, I don't know what the fuss is about. I love this pic and now everyone thinks I'm throwing shade. At who? This is funny, can't take this one down. I love this picture and whenever I'm throwing shade, it's not questionable. You know that I am." She totally doubled down on dissing Jennifer and siding with Mariah, adding, quote, "Also, I've met her several times. Like the several seats that should be taken, she does know me." Number 4. Nicki Minaj. These two have allegedly been feuding since 2012. It all started when Nicki was performing on one particular episode of American Idol at the same time that JLo was sitting on the judge panel. In a rather awkward moment, Nicki asked if she could come back on the show as a guest judge and asked JLo to scoot over. As a Latina artist hit back, she said, "I don't know if there's room for both of us." It was one of those joking moments that seemed like there was something else behind it, but nevertheless the two seemed to be just joking around, even though Nicki told a reporter backstage, quote, "She didn't seem to be having it, but she's gonna have it." Okay, so now we're jumping to 2015 when fans swear that Nicki shaded JLo for performing her song at the American Music Awards. As she was performing a small part of Anaconda, the camera cut to Nicki in the audience looking less than happy with the rendition. The clip showed her emotionless face and made it seem like she didn't approve of the way her song was being used. Number 3. Ryan Seacrest. This incident gives Ryan every reason to hate JLo because it's pretty bad. Ryan Seacrest worked alongside the singer on American Idol and the two quickly became friends. But all that seemingly changed when the talk show host revealed that he flew down to Miami to celebrate her milestone 50th birthday, only to be denied entry at the door. Ouch. He recalled the whole story on Live with Kelly and Ryan and explained that he flew down from New York for only a few hours because he had to make it back in time for the next morning's show. But when he finally arrived, the doorman told him, "You're not on the list," to which he responded, "Clearly, there's a mistake. She invited me personally." But upon being denied, he checked the list and couldn't find his name. The doorman just asked him to wait, made a quick call, and was able to confirm that Seacrest was indeed on the guest list. But the host went on to say that he was the first person there and no one really got turned up until after he left. It would have certainly been a little embarrassing to say the least. Number 2. Cameron Diaz. Throughout the years, Jennifer Lopez has been known to speak negatively about her fellow actors, and it looks like it may have come back to bite her. During an interview in the late 90s, JLo explained that Cameron Diaz was just a lucky model who was given opportunities. She did mention that Diaz can be good when directed, but Lopez's past comments about Cameron's career allegedly made things super awkward between them when they were when they both had to buckle down and work together in the 2012 comedy What to Expect When You're Expecting. Several anonymous sources on the set of the film claim that the two stars did not get along at all during the shoot. In fact, it was reported that Cameron said the singer was a nightmare to work with. Quote, she even said that Jen should stick to her day job, meeting American Idol and singing. According to The Insider, J-Lo demanded to eat at specific times, no matter what, and stops working when it suits her, and she had her assistant run over to her with food. This is what allegedly drove Cameron crazy. Another source claimed that the co-stars actively avoided one another while filming, and tensions were thick. Number 1. Ojani Noah. The former couple were married on February 22nd, 1997, and got divorced barely 1 year later, in January of 1998. It was so long ago that you would think Ojani has moved on from the relationship, but apparently he's still holding on to a bit of resentment. In fact, Jennifer's former flame was out to make a buck off their brief marriage by trying to expose revealing videos from their honeymoon. Ojani was even hauled into court after he started planning a tell-all movie based on the revealing home footage called How I Married Jennifer Lopez, the J-Lo and Ojani Noah story. The result? Well, she sued him for a whopping $10 million and demanded a permanent court order blocking her ex from making any videos public. Ojani also threatened to write a tell-all book unless he was paid $5 million by the singer. His unpublished book alleges that J-Lo had multiple affairs, including one with Mark Anthony, during the 11 months that they were married. But a judge was not having it and awarded her $545,000 in damages and quashed the book, ruling that it violated a 2004 deal not to publish details of their relationship. Her team calls the movie an outrageous attempt to make money and received substantial compensation.